Hello and welcome to another Christmas special. We're going to be making some trees today, and these beautiful ones here, no sew trees, because despite the fact that we're using a lot of material, we're not sewing. Not that there's anything wrong with sewing. What we need for this one is our polystyrene cone, and you do need that. People have asked me if we can have a cardboard cone, but it doesn't work, and you will see why in a minute. This is a scrap buster project, so you just need to find all the bits of material that need using up. You're only going to be using tiny bits of material, so you can use up loads of stuff. So I've got together everything that's red and green. I'm a bit green light in my stash because I'm really not that keen on green actually, apart from for Christmas. So I did look through and find some of this sunflower material. You might recognise that material if you're a reader of WR Life. But if you cut this, you can get just the green bit out of it. So it doesn't have to be pure green material. And also, you don't have to do red and green. You can do anything you like. You know, you match it to your Christmas decor. So we've got our polystyrene cone, and we're going to need hundreds of pins. And we just need ordinary small-headed dressmaker pins, like these ones. Now you can use some of these fancy ones later, but that's not what you need for the majority. For the majority of it, you are going to need these teeny little headed pins, and you're going to need a lot of them. You might notice that there are not a lot of them in here, and that's because I've already made hundreds, so I've used my pin stash up. But tiny pins is what you're going, tiny headed pins are what you're going to need for this one. So we need some material for the bottom of our cone. We need these pins. You will need some scissors. Dressmaking scissors are good, but any scissors will do. My dressmaking ones are downstairs, so we've got these. And I'm going to show you how to do several ones. I'm going to start with this one here, which is here a little bit closer up for you. Okay, now this is the most complicated ones and hard on the fingers, but I will show you a couple of other options afterwards if you don't want to do this one. So we're going to start with our cone, and I put it down on a piece of material and drew around it with about a 2 to 3 centimetre outline edge that you've got like that. So you've got an edge going around it. And we're going to fasten that on. Now you can use any material for this because you're not going to see it. You might see the tiny edge of it, but that's all. And I'm going to get my pins out here, partly so that I'm not rattling around for you. Put that in the middle, pull up one side of it and stick a pin in. And now you will understand why you are not using a cardboard one, because we're going to stick that all the way in with our finger, and it goes in nice and easily. Now pull it tight for the other side, directly opposite, and to make sure it's nice and smooth on the bottom. Oh, I've got a feather stuck on there. Nice and smooth on the bottom, and stick another pin in. We've got that, and we're going to do the same thing on either side as well, so that it's all attached. Now, if it's starting to hurt your fingers as you push it in, you've got a lot more of that to come, I'm afraid. You can use a lolly stick or something else to start pushing in, because you are going to be pushing in with a lot of fingers, and it does hurt. You know, you can use, I wonder if I have a lolly stick in here. Oh, I do. Here's a lolly stick. So we could use that to push those in, or the edge of your scissors, or anything else if you want to. Now you're going to now fold in these edges. Now don't worry if you have it slightly rucked up, because as I say, you are not going to see it. All you need is for this to be covered around the bottom, and then it's going to be covered up. So don't worry, you're just sticking your pins in and pulling it round so that it's covered along the bottom. And in the end, you are not going to see this, so it doesn't matter that it's a little bit that you've got folds and rooks and things like that. Do not worry about that. You are just covering your base like that. Okay, so it's now done like that. And now we're going to get to the important bit. So that's your base covered up, and now we're going to do this part. So you need to cut material. Now I've said approximately 4 centimetres for your material, which works for this one. If you have a larger cone, you might need to adjust it a little bit. I don't do loads of measuring because there's a lot of material in here, and so I've just snipped off some little bits. And you are going to do the same fold we've done before, which is corner to corner. Now there's absolutely no need for you to iron this. It's going to take you forever to iron all those bits, and it's not necessary. Just finger press. Just going across so that you've got your triangle like that. And then again, corner to corner so that you've got another triangle. So that's what you're doing. I'm just going to do that again because it's really important. Okay, so we've got this and we're going corner to corner to make a triangle. And then we're going to move that corner to that corner to make another triangle. And now you have a triangle with a ragged top and 2 neat sides. I'm going to hold it like that so you can see you've got 2 neat sides and a ragged top. Okay, so pointing downwards, we're going to put that in line with the bottom of our cone, like that. And then we're going to stick pins there and there. But I'm actually not going to stick both of the pins in. I'm only going to stick one of the pins in, and I'm going to leave the other side flapping for a moment. Okay, because I'm going to do a square again. Now you can see I haven't even cut that one properly perfectly, and it doesn't really matter. You could have done them all perfectly if you want, but I've still ended up with my triangle with a rough top and 2 points. And now I'm going to place that one next to the other one, which is why I left that bit flapping, because now those 2 points are going next to each other, and it just saves you having to unstick another pin in. So that pin's going to hold 2 at once. I'm going to use that to stick it in this time. Save my fingers, and then you're going to carry on doing that all the way around. And then when we get to our next level, we're going to use the same colour. You need 2 rows, that's the word I'm looking for, 2 rows of the same colour. So I'm going to do another green one, and this time when I place it on, I'm going to place it in between. So you see how we've got one there and one there? We're now going to place that on the second row there. So you'll have one row going all the way around, and then your second row will sit on top of it in between, which creates that shape like that. Now after you've done that, you can keep them all green if you want to, or you can do as I've done here. We've got 2 red rows and then 2 green rows and then 2 red rows as it goes up like that, and red and green all the way up. You can adjust and wriggle around. Sometimes with this being a stash buster, you might well think, oh, I really want to use this piece of material, but I've run out a little bit. You can hide a slightly smaller one and a slightly bigger one as it goes round. Of course, you do not have to be that regular either. You don't have to do them all like that. You can just put anything on there and make it look how you want to. Okay, so stick them all in like that, and that's all it is. So you've got that triangle where you went corner to corner to make a triangle from a square, and then, oh, that's a terrible one because it's not cut very well. Let me show you on this tinier one. Okay, so we'll go corner to corner and then corner to corner again, and that will create your 2 nice ones, and that one is always going to be hidden underneath the others. Now it's heavy on the hands, that pushing it in. It definitely is heavy on the hands as you go around. It will do that. Now there are 2 other things that you can do. You can do it with felt, and this is going to create a slightly more realistic tree. This one is heading for my doll's house, and it's got some little presents in front of it. That's where I'm going to put mine. My ribbon is coming off that one because I need to put a spot of glue on, but that's going to be in there because it's the perfect size. So I wanted it to look slightly more realistic for this. So when you're using felt, you don't need to fold it. The felt is too bulky if you fold it. Instead, you just need to cut triangles, and that takes one stage out. But you do it in exactly the same way, sticking it like that, pins in all the way around. Then we get out our multi-headed pins, our pearl-headed pins, I mean, not multi at all, our pearl-headed pins. and we stick those in for decoration. So I have one of these nice ones and I'm just going to stick it in there, and now they look like baubles sticking on the top. When you get to the top, you sometimes need to adjust your triangles a tiny bit and make them a bit smaller. And the other real top tip is that if you, I'm going to do it with a really big pin here so that you can see, if you stick, oh actually do you know what, I might do it with an even bigger one so you can see it. Where's my other one gone? Oh, I've lost it, never mind, I'll do it with this. Oh, there it is. Okay, this one, if you are sticking in, you're going to get that, and that is going to be super dangerous, isn't it? When you're doing it like that, it's best to stick downwards. So get an angle on it and stick downwards, because when you get to the top bit, it'll be sticking out. And while we're on that subject, I want you to be absolutely certain you do not put this in a small child's room. It is full of pins, and those pins stay in there forever. So it is not safe for anybody who would still put something in their mouth, a pet or a child. Okay, I don't want anybody's kittens or puppies swallowing pins, or their children swallowing pins. So don't put that in a child's room. It's for older children or high up somewhere where they're not going to get it, because it's absolutely full of sharp pins. And I say sticking downwards is a better idea when you get to the top. Now, if all of that is too hard on your hands, which it might be, okay, it could well be too hard on your hands, there are two other things that you can do with your cones. You can use washi tape. Now, washi tape is fancy sellotape, and you can stick that round, and that's what I've done there. I didn't even bother with the bottom, but if you wanted, you could put the cotton reel thing on the bottom to make it that extra bit of height, like we did last week when we were doing the triangle one. We use a cotton reel for that. Never throw out your old cotton reels, they're always useful even when they're empty. So that's that. But the thing is, you are using with washi tape something straight on something curved. So there are rooks on there. I'm not going to worry about those because I don't care. But if you're not happy with the rooking, the thing you can do there is you can just do it totally random. So I've just stuck them all over the place. I didn't even worry about doing Christmas ones. There are still some spaces on that because it's not finished, but you can just stick it any old way. The other thing you can do is you can do our needle felting from the other day. So you have a bit of wool roving left over from your autumn garland that we were doing before. I've got some of one of those behind me, and get a small amount of that and you put it on. I deliberately left a little bit that would need doing so that I could do it in front of you. You just lay it on top of your polystyrene cone. Get your felting needle that you used before and simply stab it. It's actually much quicker than the other form of needle felting, and it just attaches itself to there. Okay, and then you've got that kind of one as well, and you can still put the cones in there, the pins in there, or you could stick little, I've got loads of these little gold stars, and you could get out your glue and decorate with the gold stars. Now, for the top of some of these ones, I have had to evoke the glue gun. I've stuck a cocktail stick down the top. So there's a cocktail stick, and it's going in the top of that one down there. And I did have to use the glue gun to attach those things on top. Sometimes the top can be slightly less neat on the top, and you may want to hide it by getting yourself some kind of decoration and gluing it on, and that's fine. So we have all these different Christmas trees. If your fingers just can't take all that pushing, you can do it with washi tape. If you're a needle felter and you've got some left over, you can do some stabbing, or you can do this one. It does look really nice, this one. Whether you're using the triangles for a slightly more realistic look like me, or whether you wanted to use up all those bits of material. Remember, if it's hurting your fingers, have a little break and then come back to it later. And you will end up with these. They make, this one goes on our Christmas table when you're there, but you could have this. Both my boys have this in the room because they're old enough to deal with that. But I'm hoping that you will have lots of fun making Christmas trees, and I'll see you for more Christmas fun soon. Bye.